To my channel. No, Goof, don't get in the chair. Do not get in the chair. This is gonna end in a disaster. I already know. Hey, what are we doing? Hey, you can't sit there. Dude, hold on. I don't think you can fully grasp what is happening here. He's about 2 seconds away from knocking over my ramen noodles. He's on my books. And he doesn't even care. You don't even care. You're so adorable though. Come here. Get up here. Get up here. Come on. Up. Come here. This video is about to be so chaotic. Anyways. Welcome back to my channel, or to my channel if you're new here. My name's Haley. I talk about books, I read books, I love books, and today is no different. So what are we doing? I'm rearranging my bookshelves. I have wanted to do this for a really long time. I have also rearranged my entire room. Some of the furniture that you see behind me is not staying there. It is still in the process of being rearranged. This is on day 3, I think. And let's put it this way, I'm going crazy. And also, on top of that, you're seeing it. I really do not care at this point, do I? I still have a couple things that I personally need to do, and then there's things that I personally cannot do by myself, and so I have to wait for somebody else to help me, because as much as I'm like, ooh, I'm a strong, independent woman, I really just want a big, strong man to do it for me. And that includes moving some of this furniture. Here is the catch. Here's the gist of it all. I'm pouring sweat. I don't want to do this. I am running on 2 cups of coffee and no food, hence the ramen noodles that are cooling down. And the thing is that I don't want to do anything but rearrange my shelves right now. I had to move shelves around. I had to move stuff around so I would have more shelf space, because let me tell you right now, I am at the end of my shelf space, or at least I was. And then I got a new bookshelf. She's a little tiny thing. And then I also rearranged, because I don't have a closet in this room. And so because of that, I had to use like bookshelves as space for my clothes, because I just didn't have enough space for my clothes. I got a dresser now, which is kind of iconic of me. And I rearranged my clothes a little bit so I had more space for my books. And then I got a bookshelf that I didn't know that I was getting. Like, my mom just texted me, because basically my parents are movers, and they text me randomly sometimes, and they're like, do you want this piece of furniture? Would you like this? And basically what happened was, she texted me yesterday and she's like, I have 3 new bookshelves. 2 of which I didn't want, because one didn't have space for it, and 2 didn't match. So I was like, okay. But I took one of them, so now I have an extra bookshelf, and I'm really happy with it. If another bookshelf is needed at this point, I'm getting add-ons to the ones that I can, because I can't do it. I don't have any more space. This used to be a living room, my room, and now it is a bedroom, obviously. And the fact that one day I will be moving from this house and I will have to, you know, find space for all my bookshelves and all my furniture. Is kind of a terrifying and daunting thing, especially when I keep getting more books. Like, yes, I could unhaul books, I could get rid of books, and eventually I'm sure I will, but it isn't in me right now to do so. I'm gonna eat my ramen noodles and then we're gonna talk about what's going on. I look like a disaster, I feel like a disaster, and life is kind of hitting me a little rough today, but we're gonna get through it. Because I get to play with my books and that's all I care about. I want to play librarian. I want to have a fun time and you're gonna come with me because I have come to the realization that like I could literally make videos about anything. Like it doesn't even matter. Here's what the plan is, what we're doing. Sadly, I had to separate my shelves. They weren't working on the wall. They were blocking most of my window and I didn't want that. I want to have my window, especially for filming and stuff. It's really gloomy outside today, so not impressive today. But most of the time I like filming in front of my window. That's what I like to do. Throughout this video, you're also going to hear my squeaky floors. Ignore it. So the problem is that I like my shelves to be together. I really loved the rainbow shelves that I had before and I got to film in front of them a total of maybe like 3-4 times and it just wasn't working because they weren't in front of the window. Now, with that being said, I have, let me move you a little bit so you can see. I have these little like, where? No. Anyways, I have these like sconces. Oh, there we go. I have these sconces on almost all my walls, and because of that, I cannot put my shelves together on any wall. That wall would be perfect for all my shelves, or the wall over there across from us. I can't do that though. So here is my solution. I'm gonna divide them up by read and unread because, well, actually I kind of already did that. I did some of the prep work, guys. I did it. But the idea is that I'm gonna divide them up and put my unread on this shelf and the tiny shelf right here. And then my black shelf over here, which you can't see. This shelf right here, because my clothes are on like the other one, but I have like, I think that whole shelf empty. So I can put books on all that shelf. The classics are staying where they are. Like, they have not moved since I've been in this room. I just really love the look of all my classics right here. So I'm not worried about that. What I am worried about are these. So, I'm gonna make this into my unread area. I'm gonna put all of my unread books on these two shelves. They should fit. I feel pretty confident in saying that. I am pretty much at this point half and half on read and unread, but a lot of my unread books are on my classic shelf. There's at least like 50 on the classic shelf that are unread. So I'm not really worried about that, about them fitting. I feel like it's fine how it is. What I am worried about, however, is all of my read books fitting on the two shelves that I'm talking about and this shelf over here. Mainly because I want room to grow. And room to grow right now is not going to happen with having those shelves. So eventually what's going to happen is, hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm going to have one shelf of just unread books. So, with that being said, I guess we're going to get started. The idea is that I have, okay, I don't even think showed you. So these stacks right here, these are red. Hello. These two stacks over here, they are red. And then these stacks that are in this chair are red. That's a lot, okay? I don't even know how many books there are that are actually red total in my library, but I do know that it has to be at least like 200 and something here. I feel confident in saying that. Yeah, here's what I'm actually going to do. I'm going to put these books by genre. The purpose being that I feel like it'll be the easiest to add to them that way. I'm gonna try to leave space where I can, and genres might kind of flow into each other. I'm not exactly sure because I haven't looked and seen genre wise how many books I have of each genre that I have read. So I have dusted my shelves, I've cleaned them, and they're all cleared off, and so now I'm gonna organize by genre. This is also part of the reason why I was talking about potentially having a problem, is because I'm not going to use the two bottom shelves over here because this chair is going to be in the way. I had to move it forward for the sake of organizing my shelves, but after they get done organizing my shelves, I'm going to have to move that back. So it is going to take up, like, it's going to cover up some of the middle shelf, but it's definitely obviously going to cover up the two bottom shelves on this tall bookshelf, which is fine. And I'm just going to use it for storage for things that I won't reach for often or don't really need to grab for. And then over here where I have these stacks of books, I'm going to stack up the books that are going to go on this black shelf because it is actually blocked right now by some stuff. So I can't really get over there to them. What is already over there are my favorites on the top. And then that middle shelf, that's library books, which we're also not going to talk about. So with that being said, I'm just going to get started and hope for the best. So let's go. Hopefully my battery doesn't die and my SD card is full. That's what I wish upon myself right now.
On repeat from Spotify.
It's currently currently 6 o'clock. So almost an hour since I talked to you guys. I feel like I'm making good progress. I don't know if I'm gonna get this done fully tonight, but I'm hoping. So here's what we got. I moved my chair back first and foremost, but I will bring you closer so you can actually see. I still have to put my nonfiction somewhere, but I think they're gonna go over here on this black shelf. So I'm not really worried about them being there right now. I have these 3 shelves are mystery, thriller, and horror. I read the most from that genre, so I left the most space there for that. And then down here, you can't really see them, but this is all fantasy. There's not a lot. I don't read a ton of fantasy. I'm trying to get into it more, but I don't own a lot either. So there's that. And then on this shelf, this and this little bit right here, that's all romance. And then this and all that down there is just general fiction. It's just, it don't really fit into any other category. And then I still have sci-fi, historical, graphic novels, manga, and then my small poetry collection that you can't even see. It's like 3 books that I'm also gonna try to fit on that shelf over there. I also have my favorites and my library books, and I might switch that around to put them somewhere else. Obviously, the library books don't really need a permanent space on my shelves, and I typically just store them on like the edge of one of the shelves, and like that's it. So I can continue to do that if I need to. The good thing about the unread shelves is I don't really need to keep space for anything. It's just putting them on there and organizing them. And I don't know how I want to organize them. I don't know if I want to do by genre or just kind of put them on my shelves and just be done with it. I'm just not really sure. Eventually my read books will hopefully kind of cascade over to my unread shelves. I've also just thought about getting rid of my favorites. Like, it's not that big of a deal to have them all together to me now. It used to be, but not so much now. And then, like I said, library books, I'll have to figure out something to do with those. With that being said, we're gonna move over here and we're gonna work on these. One thing that I do know that I want to do with my red shelves is have a shelf that is series that I need to continue in, or I want to start, just series in general, have that on a shelf. And I also would like to have all of my books that I've started on a shelf somewhere. So that for sure. I know I want the rest. I'm not really sure. I think I might just like haphazardly put them on my shelves because sooner or later I'm going to be reading them. And if I come up with a better idea later on, we will get to that. But as of right now, I think that that's the plan, and I think that that will work the best. So with that being said, let's get into this mess.
Baby, can't wait to go.
It's 7:40 and I now have updates and I don't love it. but it is what it is for now because I think I'm done tonight. I just can't be bothered. So I'm gonna show you what I have so far and then we'll talk about it. First things first is over here. These are all unread books, so I have them in no order. That's all my Stephen King down there. I just kept it where it was. It was either gonna stay there on the bottom or go to the other bookshelf and be on the bottom, so it doesn't really matter. These I didn't do anything with. These are like the books that I own that are part of the 25 and 2025, and then these are self-destructing TBR books, so I just kept that how it is. And then when we go over here, this is my series that I need to continue or series that I have. Obviously they're not organized yet. I haven't done that. And then it continues here, and then this stack right here, and then these books and those two books on top. Those are all books that I have started and I haven't finished. Quite a few of those I would like to get off of there soon, so I'm not worried about it looking as chaotic as it does right now because sooner or later it won't. But as of right now, that's what it looks like. And then going down, this shelf and this shelf are books that are also unread. That's kind of overflow from the other shelf. And then the bottom shelf is where I'm gonna put any overflow read books. So that's kind of the update for right now. I'm probably gonna stop there tonight. If I do anything else, it would be putting the books that are on this like table right here on the black shelves. I'm not doing that though, but I'm gonna continue this tomorrow, and we're gonna like decorate the shelves, and I'm kind of just gonna sleep on all this stuff because I'm not exactly sure what else I want to do. Obviously I need to organize like the series shelf and probably something else, I'm sure, but as of right now it is what it is. I'm okay with how it looks. I am currently in the middle of cooking dinner, which I need to go check, but I'm gonna continue cooking dinner and then probably eat, shower, and read. I think it's been a month since I finished my shelves, and I've kind of just been sitting on it, rearranging some small things. I added some plants yesterday so that I could actually finish filming this, and I had to like tweak some things because my shelves were a mess again by the time that I wanted to film this. So we are here now to show you the final product. I still don't fully love my setup. I don't really love how my books are. I prefer them all to be together, but instead they have to be scattered around my room because of how my room is set up. So it kind of sucks, but I am just ignoring it for now. And we're just gonna get into it. One day I will have my dream library and it'll be okay, but for right now, that's not it. That's not happening. So let's get into it and talk about these shelves and what's happening and all that stuff. So instead of making this any more chaotic than it already is, I am going to kind of talk you through what I did with my shelves and kind of just show B-roll as I do so. Starting in the corner over here, which is probably going to be the worst lighting you have ever seen, I'm working with what I got, which is a gloomy day, that is for sure. I have the first set of red books. On the top, I have my writing books, which I just decided to keep there. None of those are read. I'm ignoring it for now. At some point I might move those to my unread side, but I'm not worried about it. And then I have some random stuff up on that shelf that I just don't know what to do with, and it's just kind of a catch-all for whatever else. And then the next three shelves, those are all thriller, horror, mystery. I kind of just grouped those together, and I feel like it works pretty well. That's the majority of the genre that I read, and so putting those all together just makes the most sense for me as of right now. And then the last shelf on that bookcase that has books on it, that is my fantasy. It's probably one of the smaller genres that I have, so for that purpose I just kind of put those there. I don't read fantasy a lot, so I shouldn't have to get over there to put books on that shelf that much, and that's kind of why that's behind my chair. The small bookshelf by my chair, that is primarily romance and literary fiction. Where you see the dinosaur head, that is the breakup between the romance and then the literary fiction or general fiction. It was just books that basically I just didn't know where else to put, so they ended up there. And I like it. I love that shelf. I love the color on it. I really enjoy looking at it. And I love that that's there. And then on top, I have some like random stuff. I have a catch-all for jewelry that I wear and I just don't put up. And I have this little toast light. I freaking love this light so much. It's so cute. And it's adorable. I also have my TBR jar of all my physical books that I have on my TBR besides the classics. And then I have a plant that I stole from my mom. And then we go to the mantle for the fireplace. These are all classics. These books are kind of organized by height. I put the tallest ones on the outside and then it slowly goes in to be the smallest ones and they meet in the middle, and I am okay with it. I don't absolutely love it, but I wanted to do something, and I don't know, I still am kind of sitting on that and I don't fully love it, especially when I look at it for too long. But those are my classics. There's at least one missing because I have Pride and Prejudice out right now. Spoiler alert, not really enjoying that. I think I'm going to DNF it for now, but I have that. And then on either side of those books, it's just basically trinkets, stuff that I have acquired that I just didn't really know what else to do with it. I have my Tetris light. I really like that light, but the Tetris pieces don't like stay together. And the way that they all connect and light up, you have to have them connected a certain way, and it's just annoying, but I do really love the look of it. And then on the other side, I have a bear that I got for my graduation and a camera like figurine and my Alexa. So there's that. I'm really surprised she didn't light up. And then the last bookshelf that I have is this black bookcase, and I still have about 2 shelves that I can kind of squeeze books on if I need to, but these are all of the other read books that I have. I have nonfiction at the top with poetry, and then I have graphic novels, manga together. That's the smallest little collection, maybe smaller than fantasy, honestly. And then the third shelf, that is sci-fi and historical fiction. I don't hate this shelf, but I don't really think about it much. On the sci-fi and historical fiction shelf, I have this little book stack that I really love, but I want to repaint it and stuff because if you flip it around, it has like book spines and one of them says like USA or something, and I think it's so ugly. I hate the colors of it. So it needs redone. I just haven't done it yet. And then I obviously have some stuffed animals and the clock right there that I really love. I love that clock so much. One of my favorite things to do when I go to thrift stores or when I'm shopping for stuff other than books is finding little trinkets and stuff that can go on my bookshelf. And also when I find stuff that I've just kind of acquired, I figure out how I can put it on my bookshelf. And that is no different with some of these that are on here. Some of them I just didn't know what else to do with them, so they're just sitting on my bookshelf. Going back to the dinosaur head, I found that at Goodwill and I love it so much. It's one of my favorite little trinkets, along with a little narwhal that I have on my wall. It's like a narwhal on the wall, if that makes sense, and I love it. It's great. I love it. And then we move over to my unread shelves, which is the majority of my collection. So it's a lot. I'm not gonna lie. If you're not already aware, I have a TBR challenge that I am working on, and it's called Balancing My Shelves, and I have the second one coming out next after this. And I really love doing those, but part of that goal is to get it to where I only have one big shelf that's unread books. And I don't know if that's gonna happen by the end of this year, but hopefully by the end of next year that is what will happen. So until then, I do have 2 shelves that are unread books. So up at the top, I have all the books that are out from the library right now that I have not read. Yes, I know it's a lot, but support your local library. And it makes me feel a lot better when I think about the fact that I'm supporting the library, and it's just like, it's not that big of a deal. And then from there, I have all my series. Some of these are not complete series. Some of the books I just have because I have gotten them from thrift stores or the library book sale, and I plan on collecting the rest of the series, but for now that's the only book that I have, or books, and so they're just there. And so my series are organized by how many books I have left in the series to read that are out or I know are being released soon. So it starts with Midnight Sun. This is the only book in the Twilight series that I have left to read, and I'm okay with that. I have it, and I've had it for a really long time, and I need to read it, and we will get there one day. And then it goes to like Bringer of Dust and The Pretenders. Those are both only 2 books out so far. I have Everyone on This Train is a Suspect, and that is also like a duology right now. And then I think that series has like a little novella that's a Christmas novella. And then from there it goes to 2 books that I have to read in the series, to 3, to 4, to 5, to however many. And most of the manga I just put at the end because I knew that that was going to be the case, that I would have a lot left because manga series are so long. I also just like randomly have, like, for instance, volume 17 and then volume 70 of Bleach. So stuff like that I have to just collect over time. Starting at the stack, that is books that I have started and I have yet to finish. They kind of have been softy enough, if you will, and that goes down to the next shelf. And the stack that ends right there, that is all the books that I have not finished, that I have started. Does that make sense? I feel like there was a less complicated way that I could have said that. Then we go into just unread books. There's no rhyme or reason as to how these are organized, but essentially the unread books that are on these 2 shelves, I would ideally like to get over on the other shelf. And so when I pull one off that shelf and I read it and it goes to my read books, a book off of this shelf comes over there, and sooner or later it's going to shrink down. That's the goal. And then read books will fill up these last 2-3 shelves. The next shelf is fairly simple. I have my K-pop albums on the top, a plant, and fake flowers from my cousin's funeral, and a, what do you call it, a record player that I don't even use. It's just really for decoration at this point. I just don't like the audio on it, so I just don't use it. And then all these shelves are unread books. They're just books that, once again, are just thrown on there kind of haphazardly. There's no rhyme or reason as to why those are organized the way they are. I just haven't found a method that I want to do as of right now, and maybe one day I'll get there, but as of right now they're just on there however. And then the bottom shelf is my unread Stephen King. I had to make sure that the Stephen King books stayed on the bottom of a shelf because they're so heavy and I don't want them bending my shelves, so I just kept those there. As of right now, when I read a Stephen King book, I'm just gonna put them with my read books, and then when I get to over half of them, or whenever I organize my shelves again and over half of them's read, whatever it may be, I will situate that another way. I'm just not really sure how exactly. And then I also have this small shelf, and this small shelf is kind of like special books, if you will. I have on the top my 25 and 2025 books that I own, and I also have House of Leaves next to it because it doesn't fit on the shelf, and I'm also like kind of reading that, kind of not reading it. I just go back and forth, honestly. That book is so much to read. It takes a lot of dedication, something that I do not have sometimes. So I have that. And then the second shelf are kind of like my self-destructing books. These are books that I want to kind of prioritize more so because I've had them on my shelves for so long. And now we come to the conclusion of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, am not 100% sold on these shelves. I also will probably end up making another bookshelf reorganization video at some point, maybe around fall or so. I reorganize my shelves every like 3 months, I'm gonna be completely honest. And I don't just mean my shelves, I mean my whole room. I do kind of like how my furniture is set up right now, just not my shelves, and that is kind of the problem, but I can't have them all together in this room. Thank you so much for watching this video though. I truly, if you made it this far, I really appreciate it. I know I am chaotic, and this video was a lot, honestly. I took so long to actually film it. I had basically put it off for some time, and then it just wasn't right because of the weather. It's been raining a lot here, and then I went out of town for a couple days, and I have been back for a couple days now, and I got poison ivy or something. It's like all over my wrists and stuff. I don't know if you noticed or not, but it's also all over my body, and I don't know what it is exactly, but I'm really hoping that it just goes away. So I put off filming this for a couple days because of that, and just because I just didn't want to, and now I realize that I need to finish filming this. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you later.